Welcome to Casey Cares, the voice of Kansas City nonprofits. We share the stories of local nonprofits and the individuals who drive them. At Casey Cares, we connect the nonprofit and the business sectors to enhance the quality of life in Kansas City for both our residents and our visitors. This Casey Cares segment is brought to you by the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation, www.kaufman.org. I'm Ruth Baum-Biggis. Community matters. It's one of the most important things we experience as human beings, but finding it isn't always easy, especially for girls. That's where Girls on the Run comes in. This nonprofit creates a true space of belonging where girls of all backgrounds and abilities build friendships, confidence, and joy together. Part of an international organization, Girls on the Run KC launched in 2007 and has been making a powerful local impact ever since. More than 45,000 girls in our community have gained confidence, increased their physical activity, and begun to imagine what's possible for their futures. Now, Girls on the Run KC has teamed up with local woman-owned production company, Rose Productions KC, for a unique fundraiser that's supporting its important work. I'm pleased to welcome Gina Lichte. She's president and CEO of Girls on the Run KC, and Erica Schulte, who's also a board member of Girls on the Run and founder of Rose Productions. Welcome, ladies. We're so delighted to have you here.
Thank you, Ruth. Thanks for having us.
You betcha. All right. So, Gina, I think I'm going to start with you. Give us that in-depth look, that peek on what Girls on the Run is and how it works.
Yeah, you did such a great job in the introduction. We are a youth development organization focused on empowering young girls, 3rd through 8th grade. We do that through an interactive curriculum where we focus on yourself. So what's your character, building your confidence, yourself with others. So how to be a good friend, how to choose good friends, how to navigate difficult conversations. And then we teach on the kiddos' self in the community. So how do you have accountability for the space around you? How can you give back to your community through community service? All of that is taught through activity. So we creatively integrate movement. And the participants train for a 5K, that we have a season-ending celebratory 5K at the end of our fall and spring season. It's an 8-week season where they meet 2 times a week. And then we cap it off with a community 5K celebration experience.
Wow. That's incredible that you get the girls to even do that. Not everybody is a runner. Not everybody likes to do that kind of movement. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about who's working with the girls. You've got a great curriculum. So who is it that's that, I guess, adult in the room?
Yep. So we are a train the trainer model, and we'll have 500 volunteers this spring working with our 130 sites, 130 teams that we have out in 18 counties around greater Kansas City. And the value of having these mentor coaches in their lives, helping them navigate finding out what their star power is and what's unique and beautiful about these individual girls, how they support each other, how they cheer each other on. All of that is driven and powered by our volunteer force.
How do you get those volunteers and people willing to give the time? Everybody's busy, right?
Yeah, I'm so grateful for the community we have in Kansas City. It's very interesting the varying ways our volunteers come to us. 30% of our volunteers are actually teachers from the communities that they're teaching at. 90% of our sites are held at elementary or middle schools. So each individual community recruits their own volunteer force. So again, 30% of that comes directly from the school. 30% are parents, caregivers, aunts, uncles, somehow related to the kiddos, the girls, the participants. And then 30% are community members who have an interest in running, have an interest in health and wellness, have an interest in empowering young girls, have an interest in wanting to give back to the community. There's just the reason why our volunteers come to us vary, but the strength in what that provides the girls being able to be exposed to adults who care about them, who provide a safe space for them to learn, to grow, to express themselves in different ways, to try out new things. And especially as it comes to the physicality of Girls on the Run, pushing yourself to do something you didn't think possible before, having peers cheer you on, having adults cheer you on, just what an incredible experience it is for our 9-year-olds to 14, 15-year-olds.
What kind of training do your volunteers go through to prepare them to stand in front of, I think, a really tough audience at times?
Yes. We provide online training prior. There's an in-person training that volunteers can come to that we host. We have CPR certification, first aid certification, there's background checks. So we do have a process that our volunteers do go through and currently are recruiting for our spring season. So if anybody's interested in the Kansas City community of wanting to get involved with Girls on the Run, volunteering to be a coach is a great way to give back. And we do make sure you are set up for success in your volunteer space. And our curriculum, what I love about it, it's laid out so it's easy to understand, and we give instructions on, as you're preparing for your lesson today, here are questions to ask the girls, here are activities to do with the girls. We give you all the materials you need in order to facilitate the activities. So we really do try to prepare our coaches to be as successful as possible. And then throughout the season, Girls on the Run staff provides ongoing support. So if there's ever challenges or something comes up at practice that they didn't feel prepared for, we're a resource ongoing throughout the season to help support them, to make sure that they can work through those.
Well, you mentioned you're recruiting. So how would people get in touch with you if they're interested in being a coach?
Yep. The best way I would suggest is visiting our website, gotrkc.org. There's a click to register for volunteer coaching right now. So visit our website. We're also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter.
All the places.
X, yes. All the places. Please just come find us and we'll get you a spot at Girls on the Run.
This must be really fulfilling work.
Absolutely.
How can you share with us kind of impact and some of those special stories? And then I want to bring you in, Erica. We haven't forgotten you.
Yeah. So currently we have a participant that is at one of our sites in Liberty who is homeless. And, something with our services, it's not only this curriculum, it's making sure our kiddos are taken care of. And so providing extra T-shirts, extra materials that this kiddo might need while they're in between homes and trying to find a space for them. So truly trying to be a support for all different types of kiddos and whatever experiences they might be having. We really do try to go above and beyond for our community. And again, make that impact, and to have this kiddo's coach reach out to us and say, hey, my student is experiencing this. How could Girls on the Run support them? Us finding ways to, again, give more materials, give more supplies, helping this kiddo through a hard time. That's also what we do. That's also how we make an impact in our community.
That's amazing. Erica.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
How did you first connect with Girls on the Run?
So I actually first connected with Gina and the team last year, actually. So last year was our first year that we put together and hosted our event called Muse that benefits Girls on the Run. And, at the time I was kind of trying to decide what, charitable organization I wanted to be the beneficiary for Muse, as the event is really a celebration of all of the wonderful women in our city that are doing great things in the food industries and beverage and arts and whatnot. And so I really actually decided on Girls on the Run just because I'm a mother of three boys, but I'm a runner, and I've had several friends, support the organization before. And so I kind of just thought it was a very, it just made all of the sense, right? And I wanted to learn more about it. And so that was really when the relationship started, which was, it was about a year ago. So it's really exciting that we're doing it again. And, within that time frame, I am now on the board of directors for Girls on the Run too. So it's very impactful for me personally, and also for this event, for the communities, and everyone that will be attending.
And Ruth, if I might interrupt real quick, oftentimes I talk about people being great examples of what it means to be a girl on the run. And Erica is that. She's brave. She takes risks. She sees opportunities in the community to make it better. She's exactly who we want as a role model for our young women in the community. And she's been such an asset to our board since she's joined, and have loved working alongside her.
Thanks, Gina. You're going to make me cry on the podcast.
It's okay. We don't mind that. So, Erica, did you reach out to Girls on the Run, or did Girls on the Run find you?
Nope. So I kind of did that whole cold call email, sent in this very generic, hey, I'm putting on this wonderful event. It's a celebration of women. Muse is a celebration of International Women's Month, and just kind of said, this is what I'm doing. I would love to have you all be the beneficiary. I'd love for you all to be present as well at the event, just to get more awareness for the organization, with all of our attendees. And so, they responded, which was great. You never know these days when you have to cold call, send a message in Instagram. But I'm really fortunate. I'm really lucky. It's very eye-opening for me. I was raised by a single mother of 6. And when I was young, running was kind of my outlet for myself when I was young. And I would go in the neighborhood and I would run by myself, right? So it's so important for me, because I feel like if there was that impact of this organization when I was in elementary school, how dramatic of a difference it really would have made my childhood. And so it's personally very close for me. And that, I think, is why I get so much fulfillment from this event. I've done thousands of events. I put on 3 annual events every year, and this one is the one that hits home the most for me. So it's pretty special.
Gina, when you got this cold Instagram or email from Erica, what was your reaction?
Hell yes. We're going to be about this. We're saying yes to this. I loved the innovation, the creativity. It's a beautiful collaboration of incredible women in our community doing amazing things in support of Women's History Month. Everything that Erica just said, why wouldn't we be a part of that? So it was an easy yes to a cold call.
So I think that what would be really interesting for our audience is the lesson of answer the email or follow the thread, right?
Absolutely.
And I would even say too, I'm a big person on energy exchange, and when the energy feels good among 2 people, and Erica just brings such light with her, and her integrity, her intention is pure and impactful. And again, that is truly to the essence of what Girls on the Run is as well. And this idea of women supporting women, and that is what we're about too. So there so much alignment with what our value set is, and so wanting to be a part of that is an easy yes for us.
Can you both share, Erica, we can start with you, what this collaboration is like? How does it work?
So we have several women. This year we have 30 women that are partnered up together. So I reach out, to female chefs and beverage professionals that I have relationships with, that I have known through the industry, and invite them to participate. And so we have 15 chefs, and I partner and pair them up with 15 beverage professionals. And this is all within one space, which I think is probably one of the more special components about it, is that we have all of these women in one space celebrating each other together. You don't really see that very often. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen it. And so that's where I really wanted to kind of bring this all together, is let's get all of these women in one space, celebrate them, right? Their creativity, their leadership, the impact that they have on our food and drink and arts communities, all in one space. And then, let us celebrate them with, our attendees. So it's super exciting. We also have some locally owned vendors that will pop up shop and sell, maybe they have arts or crafts, goods that they make themselves. And they sell those on site, which is great. We always have live music. So yeah, it's actually my favorite day of the year. I think I told Gina last year, I think I was on cloud nine for a week. I was getting texts and calls and, emails and follow-ups and all of that. And it was such a wonderful event. And like Gina mentioned earlier, women supporting women hasn't always been a thing, right? To be honest. And so it's really special when we all do come together and celebrate each other and work together and collaborate together, and that is probably one of the most special parts for me, because I've been in the food and beverage industries for so long, that bringing all of these wonderful people together to celebrate each other, it's really a wonderful day. I'm really excited for this year.
And Gina, can you talk about the importance of this event and showcasing women and how that rolls into Girls on the Run?
That was something, Ruth, immediately last year, that was a huge takeaway from the event, is the exposure to different industry, different audience that Girls on the Run hasn't had before. For us, definitely like educators and then families are two of our bigger audiences of people that we're serving. And so getting in front of people who love good food, love good drink, love supporting like women inspired or women leading businesses, like they also need to know about Girls on the Run. So for us, it was such a great, seamless space to be a part of, just because it provided an audience that we hadn't had access to prior. And so from a marketing standpoint, like Erica providing space for us to be there, to chat with people, to give them more information about Girls on the Run, that was a huge win for us in 2025. And we hope to have a repeat in 2026.
And the date is March 8th. How can folks find out about tickets, or where's the best way if they would like to come and support this unique event?
Yep. So they can just go to roseproductionskc.com, and we have all of the information about Muse there. They can buy tickets via the website right there. We do have a Facebook event page as well, so they can just search Muse and it'll show up. Super simple. And I did want to just chime in real quickly on what Gina just said. I think that was one of my best takeaways too from the event, is that the exposure to so many women who didn't know that this organization was a thing, but it's something that they are willing to participate in somehow, some way, right? Whether they're a volunteer, whether they help coach, whether they just make a general donation. That's the best thing about collaborating with, nonprofit organizations, right? Is that we all build a bigger audience. And that really is the best thing that we can do, because the more exposure we can get, the more support we can get, and the girls need it. And so that's the biggest, most important part of the whole day.
We're talking with Gina Lichte, she's Girls on the Run, and Erica Schulte, who is Rose Productions KC, but also Girls on the Run on the board. How will the girls and or coaches be part of this event?
So we have, so Muse is 21 and over. So the young gals will not be joining. But we will have some of the volunteers from the organization on site as well. We get a lot of visibility on social media, during this whole time too, which is really great. But yeah, so we'll have some of the volunteers from the organization. We'll have some of the board members there as well. They'll be able to talk to attendees. And yeah, and sip and imbibe, have snacks, have pairings, all of the things.
Well, and part of the raffle goes directly to shoes.
Yep.
Or what? Tell me, share with them, Erica, that vision that you have.
Yes, yeah. So, in one of the first board meetings that we had when I came on, I realized that one of our biggest expenses are tennis shoes that we provide to young girls who are sponsored, who, don't have access to new shoes. And that for me is really important because I never had brand new shoes because I was getting hand-me-downs from three older sisters. And so shoes, until I could buy them myself, I did never have new shoes. And so this is a very personal thing for me. So I decided that we would have a VIP ticket this year, which we did not do last year. But the VIP ticket is a higher price, and it actually is going to include a pair of shoes back to the girls. So we have some special raffles for VIP ticket holders. But yeah, I just really thought that was a really good, impactful way to kind of just go above and beyond a normal, cash donation, right? Like, let's get some creativity behind it. Let's have it make sense for what the organization really needs the most, and what we can help provide. And so, yeah, that's the VIP ticket. They will get a new pair of shoes back to the girls.
Oh, I love that. I love that. In doing a collaboration like this, I think you all are a great example of empowering nonprofits to look at this. What might be from each of you some advice or some tips if you're thinking about doing something like this instead of the chicken dinner, the golf tournament, not to diss those are important, but
we still have those.
I'll go first. I mean, I think, my biggest perspective from this comes from my business approach. And that is, people want memorable moments, right? They want experiences that make them feel good, right? And when they leave, they are looking forward to doing it again next year or whatever that might be. And knowing that there was a real intention, right, to this event or whatever it may be. And so that was the biggest thing for me with Muse and with Girls on the Run is how can we create the synergy between this group of wonderful women in the food and beverage industries that are here supporting each other, collaborating each other, empowering each other, right? Celebrating and embracing everyone for all of their strengths and everything that they do. And then we've got the organization and we've got Girls on the Run. And it is so, it just ties together perfectly, in my opinion. It's a really great celebration. And I think you just go for it, right? Like if it feels good, if it makes sense, if the energy is there, go for it, right? Why not?
And Ruth, I would say I'm a huge advocate for going deeper with resources. And when you think about people's time, people's dollars, finding ways to have unique partners to be able to provide, to Erica's point, these unique experiences, so we can go deeper in how we provide community to one another. And so to me, that is something that I love about this event is we're uplifting the food and beverage industry. We're uplifting makers, artists. We're uplifting Rose Productions, and Girls on the Run gets to be a part of it too. To me, we are being more intentional with our time, with our dollars, and being able to provide that same experience to those who are purchasing tickets to support the event as well.
Well, kudos to the two of you for being able to do that. I mean, it's great. So audience members, don't be afraid, be creative. I want to pivot back if we can, to Girls on the Run and the young women that you are working with, et cetera. How do they come to you? Is it just, do you recruit kids? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, so registration is open right now for our spring 2026 season. So great job, Ruth, for setting that up. Our registration is online, and ultimately it is site recruitment based on schools that the kiddos are at, participating in, and then from their site they register for their team. Now, we do have community sites available, so if your school is not listed as participating for Girls on the Run, you can easily find something that you might have to travel to, so that transportation piece could be a barrier. And also, if your school isn't listed, we're still recruiting sites, so we would love to have your school sign up. So if your parent caregiver listening to this right now, that's a great way, if you want your kiddo to participate in the program, to help us expand our reach even further. So it's an online registration process. It's available through our website, gotrkc.org. And we're open for registration through March 9th, so almost through the Muse event.
That's terrific. So, and is there a charge for the girls?
Yep. So it's $220 for families to register their kiddos to participate. We do offer scholarships. So we can subsidize that cost.
And it's after school, correct? Is it like immediately after school, or how does that work?
Mostly after school. Again, each site gets to determine their days of the week and their times that they are hosting. But for the majority of sites, they are right after school. Again, to help with that barrier of transportation is just to make it, right after school for families, for kiddos too.
Now, if a young girl has participated in a session, can they come back? Is it limited to one time only?
Oh, they can come back and participate in the program as much as they want. And that's something too with our curriculums. We do have, we rotate different types of curriculum. So this spring, girls will be receiving the Star Power curriculum, but we have different curriculum, Bold Heart, Mountain Mover, so different opportunities for them to have different lessons. Themes are pretty similar, but trying to keep it unique experience for the kiddos as they want to come back and participate multiple times. They have that opportunity for it to not feel redundant.
Do you follow your, quote, graduates or participants? And if so, what are you hearing and learning from them as they maybe age out or move on?
Yeah, Ruth, great questions. We are expanding into our alumni network, and we now, especially for our high school students, we have a youth advisory board that we ask for girls to participate in. It's a great leadership opportunity for high school students. There's a junior coaching opportunity. And then beyond that, I love seeing the participants who've been in the program before. Now they're coaching the girls.
Oh, so that's cool.
Yeah. So the idea of the impact ongoing and, working on having better data set of what's the long-term effects to show, as an elementary student, what did you learn? And now as an adult, how is that impacting you? And to Erica's point of, if I would have had this program growing up, who could I be now? And just even thinking about as someone in their 40s, like the things that I get to learn from this program and how it continues to impact me now, the lessons are ongoing.
Erica, we just have a moment or two left. What was the most surprising thing as you joined as a board member for the organization?
I think, kind of how Gina mentioned earlier, that the program goes much further than we think, right? Than the general public thinks. Like, yes, it's this after school program. There's running involved. There's a big race at the end of the season. But I think that because it offers so much more emotional support, right? And just that journey of, it's not just the physical side. It's understanding how to work through problems in relationships and friendships, and when you have some tiffs at school, right? Like, I think that was probably the biggest thing, is that I realized how much, mentally and emotionally it helps support young girls too, and not just this physical program that's activity based. That was probably the biggest realization for me, which is wonderful, because young girls, as obviously a female myself, right? I know how hard elementary school was. And again, if the program had been around, I could have probably benefited from it. But yeah, I think that it goes so much further than what the eyes see, right?
Well, Gina and Erica, thank you so much for sharing about Girls on the Run, this unique event. Please go check out the organization and Rose Productions KC, and thank you for your time.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us for KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit voice, and we're produced by a nonprofit called Charitable Communications. This KC Cares episode was brought to you by the Ewing, Marion Kaufman Foundation, www.kaufman.org. Now spread the love and find us on Facebook and Twitter at KC Cares Radio, and on Instagram, which is KC Cares Online. And don't forget, on Saturday mornings, you can catch us at 8 a.m. on ESPN 1510 a.m. and 94.5 FM. Thanks for joining us on KC Cares.